In this video we're going to talk about business failure and also mention some of the areas that could perhaps prevent business failure. But it's certainly the case that small businesses and new businesses in particular are prone to fail in the first perhaps year to maybe 2 years of setting up. And the literature now has got a list of issues that seem to be responsible for those failures, and I want to go through that list. It's quite a short list, it's quite a short video, but I want to go through the list and just mention some of the factors that can lead to business failure. So the following are some of the reasons for business failures and preventions also. First of all, a lack of cash flow planning. Sometimes business owners are not sure about cash flow. They don't understand it, or they don't see its significance. It's important to have sufficient resources in reserve, that when bills arrive, when invoices arrive, they can be paid in a measured way. They can be paid in a controlled way. In other words, they have been programmed, they've been budgeted for, and the resources are available. And to do that, a cash flow statement is very important. But many businesses don't have cash flow statements, and therefore when bills arrive, when they have a call for payment from creditors, they're stuck, and the businesses may go under. And that is one of the key factors that leads to business failure. But also poor focus. Sometimes businesses, particularly small businesses, don't have a clear vision of what they're trying to do or where they're trying to get the business. They don't have set objectives, and they don't have a mission and a vision for the organization. They don't have any strategic plan. They're more firefighting. They're more dealing with the issues here and now, here today. Get some orders, get the orders completed, and get some cash in. There's no real direction, and because of that they tend to fail. Performance monitoring is also something that's not done or not done effectively in many small businesses. They don't monitor the employees or the situation they find themselves in. And this means that there can be a misuse of resources. They're not always working towards the right goals or to the same goals. Some of the employees may be working on something, others may be working on something else, and it would be far better if they're grouped in some way and completed some project which was urgent and pending. But perhaps because they're not being monitored and their performance is not being checked by the manager, that sort of situation can arise, inefficiencies can arise, orders can be lost, and the business can go under as well. There's also insufficient marketing knowledge. Well, it's true that small businesses don't have the resources to engage in expensive marketing campaigns or collecting marketing information. They certainly can't perhaps buy in the resources of a marketing agency and engage in primary research and secondary research and data analysis. And so what they tend to do instead, as I said earlier, is try to get some orders, try to complete the orders, try to get some more orders, and just generally watch what is happening within the marketplace and try to survive. So there is no way the business can grow. The best that the business can do is perhaps survive. But of course, it only needs to go through a bad period when the business will go under. Limited understanding of the market and industry. Well, small businesses don't pay too much attention to the competitors and to the level of competition within the industry, and that's a pity, because the competitors may be innovating and developing new products and be eating into their market. And we also live in a globalized world where small businesses on the other side of the world are targeting the same markets. And because their cost structures are cheaper, they're able to transport the product into the market and perhaps beat small industries domestically. So having marketing information and also having knowledge of the industry is very important. A poor management structure, well, sometimes the management is inexperienced or they haven't got the right qualifications for the job. Their leadership skills may be lacking. They may not inspire the workers or motivate the workers. And there might be poor team working, ineffective delegation of responsibilities. So it's important that the management structure encourages good working practice, motivates the workers, leads the workers, and gives them some sort of security that the business is going to survive and their jobs are not at risk. So morale is bolstered by good management. But a poor management structure, often it's just one layer of the structure, the employees and the owner stroke manager on top. And that is the organizational structure. And clearly there are weaknesses all over that. The owner stroke manager may not have expertise in what's happening in the market, may not be able to innovate the product effectively, may not be familiar with new developments, may not be aware of government requirements or new legislation on employment or whatever it is. And the pressure is on that person to lead the business at the same time. So clearly that person can't have an expertise in the product, in the production of the product, in marketing the product, and in running the business. And that can lead to market failure. For new businesses, sourcing funding and finance is an issue. Often new businesses are started with insufficient funds. They're started with the expectation that if they can just start, they will make sufficient orders to pay the first set of debts and they will get started. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And tragically, a lot of new startups fail within the first year or two of coming into existence. So it's having insufficient access to funds is the problem for many new businesses. There's also an issue, particularly with smaller business, of failure to adopt innovation. Business needs to accommodate customer needs. Customer needs are ever changing. We live in a very dynamic world, a world which is changing constantly because of technology and communications and what we see around us. So customers are constantly looking out for good value for money, good quality products, cheap price, but also ones which are stylish and innovative. So there's very little shelf life in products. They're not kept for a long period, not many of them. But also technology is changing. We see it around us all the time, not just in terms of computer technology and artificial intelligence, but the technology of production is changing, and product development. And if a small company in particular can't keep up with that, that company is doomed, because other companies, perhaps globally, who are fighting for the same market, they will try to keep up. And it will be survival of the fittest. The strongest will win. But that means that many small companies may fail. And the location of the business. We talk about bricks and mortars business. These are real businesses, bricks and mortar. We can touch them. They're tactile. They've got a high street presence, or they've got a factory unit, a production unit. They're they're real. They're as I said, they're tactile. We can touch them. That's bricks and mortar. But bricks and mortar increasingly are in competition with the virtual. Shops now are fighting for existence against online shops. And customers are more familiar with the use of technology for online buying, online purchasing. And even products which we considered in the past would never be suitable for online delivery are now being delivered. For example, foodstuffs. So it's trying to find the right location which will attract customers and provide competitive advantage, bearing in mind that the company is in competition with online suppliers, not just fighting the other bricks and mortar institutions, the other companies that are fighting for the same market space. So competitive is now quite fierce. So the location of the business is an issue. Clearly the bricks and mortar businesses have got additional expenses over and above those held by the online retailers. Finally, we'll look at succession planning. Sometimes businesses they don't plan for who's taking over. There is perhaps a small business, there's the owner manager and the workforce. Well, the owner manager is getting older, and one day he or she will retire. Then what will happen to the business? And that's an issue. And that's a real problem for many businesses. Appointing a successor and admitting that the successor will have to be trained and developed so as to take over the business in a smooth transition. Failure to do so will lead to a failure of the business. So those are some of the ways that the literature have observed about small businesses and how small businesses, in particular small businesses, can fail. It's well worth making a note of these because these are seen as the most important ways in which we can explain business failure. But that's all we're going to deal with in this session. So let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.